So this week, I want to take you through Article 3 of the Digital Bill of Rights. This is Article 3. Now, Article 3 kind of ties up everything that has been laid out in Article 1 and Article 2 when it comes to digital ID. And it ties it up by making sure that, having said we will not have digital ID under any circumstances, that you still have and you retain the right to non-digital access. So that is what Article 3 is in place for, so that you can retain the right to non-digital access. So what does that mean? We'll go through the article now. So point 1, all public services must provide accessible non-digital alternatives that are functionally equivalent. For the purposes of this article, functionally equivalent means meeting all of the following measurable standards. A. Wait time. Non-digital processes must be completed within twice the time of the fastest available digital equivalent, and in no case exceed 10 working days for routine transactions. So what does that mean? If you're utilizing something on a digital ID line, and you'll be doing that online, so you'll be using your digital ID. For example, if you want to do your driving license and have it as part of your digital ID, it will take a period of time for them to construct that and do that for you. And if that's going to be 5 days, if you then choose that you don't want to have it done as part of your digital ID and you want your driving license to come through as it always does, just as a photo ID, then that can't take any longer than 10 days. At the moment, as it stands, if you want to renew your driving license, it takes about a week, and that cannot change. So under this clause, under Article 3, the first clause says that the wait time cannot be longer than twice the time of the digital ID. Point B, geographical access. Non-digital access points must be available within 3 miles for urban residents and 10 miles for rural residents. So, again, geographical access isn't a problem if you have a digital ID, but in order to retain your right to not use the digital ID, you cannot be curtailed by geographical access. There has to be access for either a paper version within those limits, 3 miles for urban and 10 miles for rural. Okay. C, cost. No additional fee or charge may be applied for choosing non-digital access. So if you use a digital ID and it's free to do so, they can't then say, oh no, if you want a paper version, it's going to cost you £5. They can't do that, not under Article 3. D, quality. The outcome, accuracy, and legal effect of the non-digital process must be identical to the digital equivalent. So if you're choosing to use a paper version of getting your driver's license, then the driver's license that comes through to you has to be of equivalent quality to the digital alternative. E, accessibility. Non-digital alternatives must be accessible to persons with disabilities to the same standard as digital options. Any non-digital alternative that fails any of these standards shall be deemed non-equivalent and therefore a violation of this article. So we'll just recap those. I think that point in the Article 3, the first point in Article 3 is quite self-explanatory, but we'll just quickly recap. So wait time can't be any longer, can't be twice as long. Anything longer than twice as long as the digital alternative. Geographic, so you have to be able to access within certain miles. Cost, there can be no cost attached to it. Quality has to be the same as the digital alternative. And accessibility, it must be accessible to everyone, including people with disabilities. Okay. Point 2, no citizen shall be disadvantaged for choosing non-digital methods of identification, communication, or payment. So you cannot be disadvantaged by asking for a paper version. Point 3, non-digital access must not be subject to additional fees, delays, reduced service quality, or administrative barriers. Alternative methods must be equally convenient and accessible. So there's no getting around it. We have to have alternative measures in place to the digital ID. They have to remain in place. We have them in place now for absolutely every single thing that we need to do, whether it's our healthcare, whether it's our banking. We have alternatives in place. This right applies to all essential services, including healthcare, education, banking, transportation, employment, housing, and civic participation. What do we mean by civic participation? Civic participation is if you wanted to go and volunteer somewhere, you cannot be denied the ability to go and volunteer within your community because you don't have digital ID. And you might have to get one of those police checks. That cannot rely upon a digital ID. You have to have an alternative in place. There are alternatives in place for you to do civic participation now. If you wanted to go to a protest, even though protests have now been curtailed by our government, you should be able to do that without needing to have a digital ID because there are alternatives in place at the moment. So the effect of Article 3, it prevents digital ID, CBDCs, or digital systems from becoming the only practical option through removal of alternatives. So like I said, everything that we have in place now, without a digital ID, we can go about our business. We can do everything we've always done the way we've always done it. Whether you choose to do it online and just upload your documents and you don't want that to go through a digital ID, you can continue to do that. If you want to do it through paper and have paper access, then you can continue to do that. And this article ensures that those rights remain intact. Measurable equivalent standards, wait times, geographic access, cost, quality, accessibility, make functionally equivalent judicially embraceable rather than aspirational. Judicially enforceable rather than aspirational. You can embrace them as well, but enforceable. So that's Article 3.